All right, so it does look like we did get an official date after like a few weeks of like getting nothing, and even getting release dates for both Black Panther 3 and X-Men, which is weird because I was like, I was worried that we weren't going to get an official release date and we were just going to have a Blade problem all over again. And no, we actually got the release date for Ghost Rider, for Ryan Gosling's Ghost Rider movie, which will be July 26th. Could be June 26th. It was either June or July. But yeah, we have an official release date. It will be in 2028. So as we know, we are going to be getting three. That's three MCU movies. They've been kind of limiting it, and I think that's kind of better that we don't get like multiple MCU movies a year. It's just like one or two. But to have these three, X-Men, Ghost Rider, and Black Panther 3 in 2028 is really interesting. But anyway, so now that we have a release date, again, I am aware release dates could easily change. I'm very well aware that a release date could change, but at the same time, I'm also like of this mindset of, well, at least we actually got something. Like that's where my head is kind of at, where at least in some capacity we got like an official answer. And that's more than enough for me. Am I still mad that like Blade just couldn't get off the ground? Yeah, I will never forgive them for like messing up Mahershala Ali's Blade, because it was so easy. It was such an easy thing, and I'm sitting over here like, how do you mess that up? Honestly, like for real, how do you mess up such an easy thing, right? Anyway, so when we talk about we talk about Ghost Rider, it is probably going to be Johnny Blaze, like without a doubt. I would actually 100% be shocked if it was Dan Ketch. Like that would actually, and I say this as a Dan Ketch fan. And yeah, yes, we did have Robbie Reyes. Could Gabriel Luna come back as Robbie Reyes? I think that would be kind of cool. Like, I mean, we could have multiple Spider-Man, we could have multiple Ghost Riders. Now the question is, like, what is this Ghost Rider movie going to be rated? That's what I'm curious about, because I feel like Marvel, to kind of like compete with DC, I kind of feel like they need, not all of them. Let me preference by saying not everything needs to be like this. But I will say that maybe on occasion we do an R-rated movie, and I feel like Ghost Rider is an R-rated kind of feature. If I'm being 100%, it should be that Ghost Rider should be an R-rated movie, almost like a horror show. Now, we don't have a horror director for this. It is the same guy behind Fall Guy and the upcoming Star Wars film. So we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I like I said, I feel like we should have gotten a horror director for this, but at the same time, I'm also of this mindset of, we'll see how it goes. The Nicolas Cage movies, I know there's a lot of nostalgia for them. I don't have it. I thought Ghost Rider 1 was good when it first came out, but then I watched it and went, oh, this was kind of garbage. And Spirit of Vengeance was way worse. It did have a better Ghost Rider design, though, I think. That's just me, though. So, yeah, we do have an official date for, an official release date for Ghost Rider. I am very excited. Interested, I should say. And I do think that, I think Ghost Rider, I'm going to say this right now, I do think this Ghost Rider film is going to lead to Midnight Suns, like I said before, that, I do think we're going to get an official release date for it. Well, actually, I know we did. What I meant to say was, I think what we're going to be building towards is Midnight Suns with this movie. So who knows? Maybe we could go back to the drawing board with Blade. Maybe this is how we do more stuff with supernatural characters and actually give them justice. Because that's one thing I think, I really do think that the DC universe has had over Marvel. One of the, an edge they have over Marvel is that they've managed to promote their magical characters a lot better than Marvel ever has. Every time they try to do a supernatural or magical character, it always falls flat, and there's a lot of inconsistency in the writing for each of these characters. So hopefully with Ghost Rider we can get some more consistency on the Marvel side of the darker characters. So yeah. It also leaves also that I'm very much convinced that we're probably going to be getting because look, Johnny Blaze is the most memorable Ghost Rider, but everything we have ever gotten in the movies comes from Dan Ketch. Everything about the lore, in fact, comes from Dan Ketch. So I'm like, well, why don't we just do Dan Ketch? Oh, wait. Yeah, why bother with the best Ghost Rider, right? So, everything with Blackheart, the majority of the Rogues Gallery, that is all from, Dan Ketch. So I'm kind of like, then we just do Dan Ketch. How hard is that? That's everyone's Ghost Rider, or a majority of everyone's Ghost Rider. Even though Marvel consistently throws him down a well, both figuratively and literally sometimes. But anyway, so we'll just have to see. I'm just happy we got an official release date. Yes, I am aware that this release date could change. I'm very well aware that this could be a release date that gets altered. I mean, they all to be fair, both X-Men and Black Panther 3 could easily also get an alternate be switched out. There's that too. But at the same time, there's also a lot of it feels like it gets set in stone, but we'll see. Anyway, so you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of this official release date for Ghost Rider? And what are your kind of hopes for Ghost Rider anyway? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope you all enjoyed this, Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time, the Multiverse.